Welcome back to Synergy Bonus. A bunch of guys who like to sit around, drink, and talk about games.
I'm already sorry.
Not as sorry as you're going to be.
Haha.
You think about what you did in that third person over the shoulder, old young man. Old man? Young man.
What did I do? Nothing out of the orb. Oh.
Oh.
Dirty pool, old man.
Alright.
I regret nothing.
So we don't really have any drink review for you today. It's an old favorite, and it's thematically appropriate.
Bullet.
We're doing our shots of Bullet, and that's because we are talking today about Shooting Some Monsters with White Wolf Publishing's Hunter the Reckoning. Published originally on November 1st, 1999, to kick off their Year of the Reckoning, one of a series of events leading up to the eventual Time of Judgment and the closing down of the old World of Darkness game lines and their storyteller system, and the launching of the New World of Darkness in a move that very nearly killed White Wolf as a company.
Yeah. Going between Old World and New World, Old World is much better.
Well, remember, to stop with the confusion, they've retired the phrase New World of Darkness, even though they've got a lot of NWO on the books back there. It's now Chronicles of Darkness.
There's a New World Order. You know what to do. Yeah, Hulk Hogan's in on
I
it.
don't know. My wrestling, I can't remember all that stuff. Anyways, NWO, OWD,
Shoot a lot of monsters.
we shoot a lot of monsters.
Um,
This is one of the few games where you play as a mortal.
Technically. It's not the first time that there were monster hunters in the World of Darkness. Like, the vampires always had the Society of Leopold. There's the Demon Hunter X and whatever their modern
Inquisition.
counterpart is. The Inquisition is in there. There's the Malleus Malefactorum is a segment of hunters, of witch hunters, that shows up in Mage of the Ascension from time to time as part of the Ascension.
Hammer of Witches.
Their Hexenhammer. But this time the hunters are a little bit less, because they're not these large, vast, globe-spanning organizations or secret CIA cells or anything like that. But they're also a little bit more, because they've been touched by some force
Now, where exactly did the angel touch you?
that initially, in the first few installments, the game goes out of its way not to explain. They just dub them the messengers, because they're the ones that grant the message that monsters are real and there's a reckoning coming.
Were you touched inappropriately?
I was looking for a doll to pull up and go and say, can you
where were
show
you
me
touched?
on the doll where the messengers touched you? Can you show me on Tharja where the messengers touched you?
Right about here.
Thank you, Tharsha.
In my spell of darkness.
In the World of Darkness.
Her ass does make for a very nice bookend. Just saying, as I'm looking in the camera.
People think I'm the perv.
Mechanically, this game...
Not wrong.
Mechanically, this game isn't terribly different from Vampire the Masquerade or Werewolf the Apocalypse, two things we've covered in the past. It's a D10 system. You have your matched ability and attribute, and you form a dice pool. You roll 6s for successes, 1s take away, etc. Where it does stand out a little bit is, unlike the previous games, where you have a series of powers that are attached to a clan or a tribe or whatever, and have a numerical progression down the disciplines or the gifts or what have you. Hunter's Edges, as the powers are called, are earned through sort of a leveling system. You have a pool of energy, as all of these systems do. In this case, it's conviction. And whenever you're using your powers as part of the hunt against supernatural forces, you have the ability to gamble this conviction granting you more dice to your dice pool, increasing your chances of success, and eventually, for succeeding on the roll, earning more dots of conviction, which you then convert into points to spend on powers instead of just spending raw experience. It slows the power creep an awful lot, and I find genuinely forces the players into spending points on abilities or ranks and skills rather than just looking for the next cool power to make themselves a better killing machine. Mm-hmm. It also forces them to take weapons into consideration and realize just how stupid the weapons chart in World of Darkness is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you though.
Assault rifle shouldn't do 7.
I'll tell you though. I feel like the way the powers are set up in this, it definitely allows for better team play.
Assault rifle, not a proper designation for weapon.
True. Well, you gotta remember, White Wolf as a whole is staffed mostly by crunchy, lefty, loony. What is the old Moonbats? Moonbats is the old.
Oh yes, a Heinleinian term,
Yes.
going back to the 1950s.
So in standard White Wolf fashion, your characters are broken up into archetypes based on your personality, basically. Although instead of using the vampire clan system or the werewolf tribe system or the tradition system from Mage, we now have creeds. I kill you!
No, you don't, you pacifist! Also,
oh my god.
you're a redeemer. You don't kill me.
Creed, there's something I haven't thought about.
You're welcome. And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
You're not sorry at all.
Sorry. But you will be.
So the creed... The creed represents...
I forget
I keep seeing the band come on every time you say that because of this one.
I forget he edits our videos. Oh, shit.
It'll be a bad day for you.
I have another solo player coming up. I get the feeling I'm going to be dealt with.
With arms wide. Creeds. Anyways, creeds.
Creeds are tied to your nature and demeanor, as discussed in previous White Wolf videos.
Broken.
But it also relates to how you react or first reacted to monsters once they were brought to your attention. If your initial reaction was to rush up and attack, you may be an Avenger with a giant flaming sword.
Or you shoot fiery bullets.
If your first reaction was to interpose yourself between the monster and a unarmed victim, you might be a Defender. If your first reaction was to stand back and think about the monster's motivations and maybe even try to stop it so that you could figure out what exactly was going on, you might be a Judge.
Also, you might just go and yell, "Stop, you kitty fucker."
If the ghost or monster was a priest. Touching
Or
children.
a Necophile.
It didn't work the one day.
It did not. Well, we stopped him.
We did stop him, but it didn't work.
I got better.
He's gotten better at discerning child predators.
We are the judge. I'm the judge. We're the jury, and we're also the executioners.
I am the law.
And with other different ways of reacting, there are the other appropriate creeds.
Redeemer.
Redeemer would be the one who thinks that monsters are worth saving.
Innocent.
Innocent is the person who's watched too many monster movies and thinks that the monster is behaving inappropriately.
Touching on the doll.
The martyr is interesting. It's somebody who pushes themselves beyond normal human capacity to try to save the unawakened, unenlightened.
There's also a hermit, isn't there?
We're getting to that.
We'll get to those. There's
I was
also
working on the core set
Oh, I
first.
forgot. I didn't realize.
the bystanders who just suck.
Again, I was coming around to those because they're not.
I guess I
part of
didn't
the core
realize they weren't part of the core.
set. Yeah. There's the visionaries. That's maybe there's a bigger picture here in this war on monsters that we're missing. And then there's 2 bonus extra ones. The
Fun ones.
The Hermit, as has already been examined, and each of the hunters fills a specific role, be it frontline fighter, medic, guardsman, what have you. The Hermit fills the role of being the communications officer within a hunter cell. What this means functionally for them, from a role-playing standpoint, is that they have telepathy that they cannot turn off. But it's only receiving, not sending, until higher levels. So they're hermits because they don't want to be around people, because they don't want to hear every single thought you've ever had about how nice that girl's ass is.
On the upside, hermits could be incredibly good at being pickup artists.
Mm-hmm. Actually,
very hard to play at the table.
Very hard to play at the table unless you've got somebody who wants to play that AI. Paranoid, I'm never going to see you in real life, but we'll communicate via phone calls and emails, and again,
a proper Shadowrun hacker.
Proper Shadowrun hacker, yeah. The system is meant to be set in 1999. Again, at this point in time, like AOL and ICQ,
You Got Mail,
Messenger, You Got Mail were all very
Earthlink
big things.
With the HunterNet.
Yeah. And hunters have their own specific .net website, which briefly was a thing. It was a very nice marketing campaign that White Wolf did, but it's long since down.
Then we've got my favorite grade.
The
Sacrifice.
And Wayward you might be familiar with because there were 3 Hunter the Reckoning video games, and Wayward was the title of the most popular of the 3, actually.
There was Hunter the Reckoning Wayward, and Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer.
Mm-hmm.
And the Wayward is meant to sort of be the general. Their big quirk is...
they're the tactician.
Everyone's expendable.
It's war casualties are to be expected.
Above and beyond that, all hunters have a gift called Second Sight that they can turn on and off at will that lets them see the monsters as they really are. Waywards can't turn it off. It's on permanently from the minute they hear the messengers.
Oh, just imagine going to see the Maybell at the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine going to see Maybell at the coffee shop, acting as if nothing is wrong, continuing your meal, and being incredibly pleasant the entire time. That's why the recommended either nature or demeanor for a Wayward is sociopath.
One of the legacy characters in the books, in the splats...
God 45?
Yeah, will only kill and prepare his own food because one of the monsters he hunted down was a rotting zombie working in a slaughterhouse.
Oh. Makes sense.
Points for self-sufficiency and logic.
Yep. Can't bring himself to eat something that might have been prepared by a monster because, cannibalism bad. He mentioned God 45. That was a fun little feature of HunterNet, and it's a sort of a code name that each of your hunters come up with. As soon as they find HunterNet, they get a login name that's prompted by a one-word description of themselves followed by the number that they signed up on the Hunter mailing list.
Bookworm 01?
No. Bookworm's like 05 or something like that.
Yeah, he was one of the early ones.
It's Witness 1 is the one who set up the website and acts as the main moderator. He's basically moot for
He's
hunters.
a bystander.
Yes, he is. Bystanders, we mentioned twice now, are the Caitiff clanless Ronin group here. These are people who heard the message, saw the monsters, and froze. They stood by.
You done fucked up.
So
you choked.
They get conviction, and they can still spend conviction on things like Second Sight and risk conviction to get more dice for their dice pool, but they can never learn creed powers. So...
Jesus Christ, stop.
I'm not even really
I know you're not doing anything, but in my head, you were.
Raise your hand if you're the master of mind games at the table.
But you're
Raise
over
your
the
other
shoulder.
hand if you're not doing third person over the
But
shoulder.
you're over the shoulder. So
Raise your hand if you're the expert troll.
we have had the giggle juice.
He really believes trolling is a art.
It's not just an art, it's a science.
Mostly an art.
It's like cooking.
Ha.
Everyone
But
can
yes,
do
getting-
it, but no one's
So-
really that good at it.
We actively have a Hunter the Reckoning game going, and we buck tradition a little bit because the golden rule, play the game you want to play. The messengers don't really start contacting hunters until 1999. Ours is currently set in 1987 because our game
Screw
master
you,
is-
it's the 1980s, and nothing beats the posh and veneer of the 1980s. Right, fellow 80s guys? Right.
Right.
Let's go and maximize our portfolio.
Synergy. Come on.
Yes! Hoorah!
Okay.
But so seriously, the 80s game that we're playing is phenomenal. Our GM is doing a great job.
For those in the know of our friends group, it's Jordan, so Jordan games are always different.
Cinematic is what I would say.
Very cinematic, and I've enjoyed every session we've had.
Now, if you're really into the lore of 20-year-old games that you haven't read yet, here come the spoilers.
Rocks fall, everyone dies.
That's it. Video over. No. The messengers are actually the last two angels in the setting. Because the actual god, whatever he, she, or it was,
Fucked off.
fucked off. We don't know where.
Hi, Lucifer.
Yep. That's a different story, but I'm coming to that, actually.
Oh no, I was referencing the comic line.
Oh, yeah.
Where's God?
We don't
don't know. We've just been running shit.
Yep.
Fuck you, I'm gonna go make my own existence.
And over the intervening years between whenever God fucked off and the present, the other angels, since they don't take faith directly, because faith belongs to God,
And demons.
and demons. Well, no, demons steal it. That's part of their thing. That's a different video.
Yep. I'm being
All
mad.
kind of disintegrated and fell apart, and the current in-world universe explanation is that the pieces that are remaining of most of the angels are what power mages. But
Which would go with the entire mage meta plot.
these are the last two intact self-aware angels. And they've seen that the world is being overrun by things that the creator never intended, so they've given a whole bunch of random humans a little bit of a push in the right direction that they feel. Consequently, one of the big nasty secrets when you level up your powers and you hit that 5th tier ability is that you open up your soul briefly and one of two things steps in. Either one of the two angels extends their awareness and takes
Or
you
one
over
of
as
their
a
corrupted
puppet,
friends that got kicked into the abyss during the War of Creation.
or one of the demons that, got thrown into the abyss during the fall and have since begun escaping.
Leading up to the War of the Scarab. Year of the
leading up to
Scarab.
the Year of the Fallen, actually. And it actually bleeds over to the Demon the Fallen game, because the demons were originally conceptualized as the main antagonists of the Hunter the Reckoning line, and then they just had so much good information that they went and made it into its own game, which
And then
is
they
kind
aborted.
it's kind of fun and playable, but all of the writers that were put on Demon the Fallen were ripped off it and thrown on Hunter the Reckoning and to finish off the Time of Judgment. But it also, once you get past the trappings of your, immortal angels from the dawn of creation, rather than just blood-sucking monsters, it's really just Vampire the Masquerade on steroids.
And you can only be hurt by bashing damage.
Cue internet hate.
You can only be hurt by bashing damage.
That's not true. It just takes a lot more lethal or ag to put down a demon than it does bashing damage.
I feel like our primary antagonists in Hunter, though, are always vampires.
That's just the games that we've played, because they make a very good
They do.
stock.
They do.
I'd be perfectly fine with a hunter game where you're dealing with frickin' rots. Which
Also,
is the
real
hunter
quick
term for
here.
zombies, which are actually wraiths from Wraith.
Real quick,
They're trying really hard not to use the Z word because they have respect for the cinematic tradition of not using the Z word in the zombie movie.
Which I do appreciate that in a very meta sense.
real quick though, as we said, we're playing an 80s game in our GM and everything, and I mentioned a character, Maybell. And I love this character's description. It's basically got like a lamprey face, and like the world around it just is kind of
darkens and
sucks into it, and then goes. I'm not sure what it is, and I'm like, we need to kill this.
We need to definitely kill this because that's something wrong. But on the other hand, we haven't seen her do anything wrong.
Right.
But also, that shit's creepy.
Right.
You need to see a doctor, bitch.
It's also Christmas time in the game that we're playing.
And she loves
on Christmas Eve, she loves Christmas, and she gave us all, like, free meals and stuff. So it's like, how can we kill this? And Christmas Day happened. I'm like, let's go ruin someone's
Well, also
day.
remember, the problem is, at the group, my character is basically Ron Swanson. So, we either kill that, or I'm fucking it.
Oh, please don't.
That's because from the neck down, it's like wearing like that really pleasant 1950s Denny's diner.
Exactly! So as long as I don't turn on second sight, we're good.
She's really like right out of Twin Peaks. I love it.
I'm really looking forward to our next session, which is really soon. So.
On Monday.
Yep.
We're at a point now where we need to like contact one of your artist friends and get a rendering of Mabel just for her.
Yeah.
No. Wait.
I would love to see that.
That's my fetish.
There we go.
Oh god, who's into that?
But
I'm into that.
We're getting kind of long-winded here on this, but how would you rate it in comparison to other White Wolf games?
In comparison to other White Wolf games, it's difficult too because the other White Wolf games all explore the secret worlds of these monsters that have been lurking in the darkness for eons. And hunters are a very new thing that just sprang onto the scene recently. The only thing that it really compares to is Orpheus, which was released around the same time. Because you're not discovering all of these.
I thought Orpheus was New World.
No, Orpheus is Old World.
Orpheus is actually the very last of the Old World games, but because it's technically flat for Wraith, it's not considered.
Because it's Wraith 2.0, basically.
Sort of how Mummy isn't considered its own game because it's technically a splat for Vampire. Which I think is a grave injustice. I think they could have gotten a lot of mileage out of Mummy, but that's a different video.
These are games I wish I could play more of or play in.
Mummy, you have a cult. You don't do a whole lot of shit.
No, that's New World Mummy. Old World Mummy, you potentially can do a lot of shit. Because Old World Mummy is all about fuck the Setites.
Again, different video.
Yep.
Different video. But I would... It's still a very solid game because it's towards the end of White Wolf's run, so they've polished out most of the bugs. Not all. It still has a few
combat
issues.
clunkiness.
Combat's clunky. That's just White Wolf system.
Yeah, that's not just White Wolf. That's most RPGs. Combat becomes a slog.
Well, White Wolf did that a lot because they really wanted you to role play. They weren't interested.
But your
in
hunters are goals to
Roll
kill
versus
shit.
Right.
rolling.
Roll versus roll, as we say. But I do rate it very highly. It is one of my preferred games in the system. I just don't get to play or run it very often because it's not our group's thing.
I'm so glad that we're able to play it and whatnot. I'm glad it's in the 80s setting, and I'm glad that we're playing Old World Hunter versus New World Hunter because New World Hunter feels very limited. It feels just like World of Darkness.
Well, that's just how we've played it. That's another discussion.
With like just some special tactics.
I like some of the aesthetic of New World Hunter and some of the mechanical changes. I like the lore of Old World Hunter, but in comparison to other Old World White Wolf games, I like Hunter more because Vampire, fuck Jihad, I generally take Autarchus.
And then we fuck with him because you're not supposed to be an Autarchus.
I don't care. Fuck y'all. Let's see. Mage.
I checked here after Greg, actually. No, go ahead.
Mage, I like the aesthetic of the old traditions. I don't like the mechanics of Old World Mage at all. Never done Mummy. I've never done Changeling. And I've only played... I've never done... I played a Slayer Demon, so I have done no Old World Demon.
Mummy would agree with you. It's very long-range planning, tactical thinking.
No, okay. So
Changeling you probably hate.
See, I
just
played,
because of fucking Pukas.
I've played a handful of New World stuff, and I've played a lot of Old World stuff. And I generally like Old World better. And the first Old World I played was Vampire, which everyone enjoys Vampire and whatnot. But I feel like Mage and Hunter in particular just stand out for me, and I really enjoy them. Although I do like New Mage as well. But the lore of Old Mage is great. But Hunter really sticks out for me.
I think Mage and Hunter stand out because everything else, you're
This
something special. Like either you were born special, you're a werewolf or a changeling, or you were special enough that another vampire noticed you and changed you. Mage and Hunter, you're just some schmuck off the street who happened to luck into powers one day. And now you're dealing with this shit, be it a war with monsters
luck
or a war
or
for reality.
fuck up into.
Yeah.
No, fuck up into is definitely Orpheus, where you've had a suicidal experience and this giant megacorp approaches you.
I was thinking of...
Guess what?
We've got a job for you.
I was thinking with mage, the equivalency of like line mages, where you have nothing special about you. You're just really good at doing this one thing, and it takes time.
I guess I just like old world lore.
Yeah, I like the lore. Mechanically, just Old World Mage is just so fucking obtuse, but that's its own video.
The Ascension. No, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. It's its own video, and then it's just so much shit.
We're going to have to come back to that.
Whereas Hunter, okay, go and ditch the whole demons and angels and all that shit. You're taking back the night, and that's the byline of the series. There's creatures that are preying on humanity,
And they need to
and
die.
they view humans as cattle. Let's kill them.
And with that,
Well, Hunter also gave us one of the best NPC or legacy characters in the franchise.
Carpenter. That motherfucker. Carpenter.
Yeah.
He refuses to die for the fourth time?
He's crawled his way out of hell 3 times. So yeah.
Yeah, so for the fourth time, he's refused to hell. And if he looks into that guy I need to kill, he's a mummy. I ain't going back to the Shadowlands anymore, motherfuckers.
and with that,
Good night.
good night and good gaming. Hey, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed what you saw.
Let us know. Give us a like and a comment down below.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to make sure you get all notifications from us.
And as always,
Good night.
and good gaming.